to you by Shaun Porter Promotions.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. And with two T's.
It's live? It's not live on my phone.
Oh, no, we're live.
Oh, okay.
You know, ignore that delay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
You're a cameraman.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a while.
Ignore that delay. I would call this spot bootleg, but this is our only spot now.
You
so
can't do that. Why'd you even say it?
Yeah. The space.lv.com. That's where we at right now. We at the Space, owned by great friend of ours, Mark Chinook. Does everything in Las Vegas and especially announces the boxing for Top Rank. So he has opened the doors to us, and we want to thank him, of course. And that you guys know, if you go to thespace.lv.com, y'all can check out the space, everything that they got going on in here. It's amazing. And like I keep saying, anybody who's I got a lot of people that look up to me, and they're like the way you're moving your businesses and things that you're doing since boxing is phenomenal. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm still trying to get a interview, a sit down with Mark Chinook. I'm trying to have lunch with him because he knows what he doing. You know what I mean? I'm still basically just going off what I've seen.
That's what you visualize yourself doing in 5 years?
Absolutely not. But I mean, he has a charity. You know about the charity that he donates to a different charity every other Monday. That Monday's dark up here.
I thought that was Toby.
He donating to a different charity every other week, and I mean the number that they're at now, they're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. All of those dollars donated. So Mark's a great guy. Of course, we didn't come here to talk about Mark, but I definitely
shout out to Mark.
Plug the space and show love there. Beyond that, Big Dog,
What's
how
up,
you feeling, man?
Hey, man, little clock, little you know.
I ain't seen you in half of forever.
When I seen you? Man, it's been a minute since.
It's been a little minute.
Where did we go? Did we go somewhere?
We both left.
Oh yeah.
We both left.
Getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But we gotta do what we gotta do.
But you good? Nothing is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah. We blown out. We'll be ready to go by tomorrow.
I have a lot of work to do. All right, so I can't afford.
Hey, I feel you.
Yeah, I can't afford. You want to bring them in?
Yeah, bring in.
Come on, let's bring them in.
Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
We got a guest for you guys today. And if you don't know him, I don't give a damn. And if you don't like the fact that I got an retired NFL quarterback up in here, I don't give a damn.
If you don't like that, that's somebody from Louisiana. I don't care either. What's up, man? What's up, man?
Blessings.
I just got back from home.
I heard.
Man, when you gonna come down there and meet me? We'll put somebody out of business.
I thought you was from Florida.
I am from Florida. I went to Tulane.
What you wearing? It's like in here now. All of a sudden.
The whole time I thought he was from Louisiana.
Oh, no, you
man. It's over, man.
No, I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. Home of the Boxers.
So how you get drafted by your hometown team? How you pull that off?
God is good, isn't he?
Hey, all the time?
Hey, man, I grew up boxing, man. Okay. I just went to Tulane because in 1995, when I graduated high school, if you were 6'1", and you had melanin on your skin like I have, you didn't have a lot of opportunities to play quarterback. Florida State at the time, top programs, both offered me full scholarship to play safety.
Very disrespectful.
Both of them.
Very disrespectul. This is in my house. It ain't in one of those pictures. Very disrespectful.
You don't deserve to be in one of them pictures.
Go ahead.
But did you hear what he said, though? I mean, not to really, but back in the day, the top programs, they offered you full ride, but to
play safety.
Move,
I never forget telling Steve Spurrier this. I ain't tackle anybody on the interception.
Yeah.
I appreciate your faith in me.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just how it was. And
did you ever tackle somebody on interception?
No.
No?
Because I didn't throw interceptions. No way.
Well, this dude.
But to be completely honest, I wasn't one of those guys that played both ways. Like Allen Iverson, just a super athlete, quarterback, DB. I played quarterback. That was it. I didn't play defense, so I didn't understand where that energy was coming from. But, trailblazers, happen in every sport.
Yeah.
And I tell people this, and I don't think this group gets enough credit. The 1999 NFL draft, that class of black quarterbacks changed the league. Donovan McNabb, Akili Smith, Dante Culpepper, Aaron Brooks, myself. That was the group that kind of, yes, that was the group that, in my opinion, started the NFL to having to transition to a different presentation at quarterback.
Sure. Wow.
You was getting out on the edge. You was on?
Yeah, man.
What's the most you rushed for in a year?
In the NFL?
Yeah.
Well, man, fear make you run fast. I think I had like 4. I think I had like maybe 400. But back then, the game has evolved so much. Back then, only time you were in shotgun was 2-minute offense. End of the half, end of the game.
Damn.
Everything was under center. It was a fullback. It was a tight end. This was still, and we're talking 99, 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Remember the Rams, the greatest show on turf.
Yeah. Isaac Bruce.
But even then, Kurt Warner was under center.
Yeah.
That still wasn't shotgun, zone read, what they're doing now. So shout out to the NFL for adapting.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment? Who hit you?
Oh, I'll tell you a funny story. I'll tell you this right quick. So my first start ever, Monday Night Football.
Ooh.
Down in Tampa, we're playing the Minnesota Vikings. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, John Randall.
Yes, sir.
Big D lineman used to
Yes,
put these triangles on his face. Like he's already a dark brother. You know, I'm wild brother. Why you dark brothers get tattoos? I don't understand. Nobody knows what it is, but he had his face painted. So I'm over there warming up. You know, I'm just throwing the ball around. All of a sudden, somebody bump into him. I'm like, God, big guy, I'm gonna kill you. He looked at me, and that's just what he did, out the blue. And it caught me off guard. I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Caught all our fans off guard, too. I know they like
Right. I know. We're going to get to boxing, y'all, I promise. But I'm going to kill you. I'm looking at him. Whoa, big time. What's up? He caught me off guard, and it ain't like I could knuckle up with him and I can't whoop him.
Yeah.
So I was the greatest line I ever had in my life. I look at him, I say, man, I'm somebody's child.
How old was you?
Oh, I was 21, 22
Yeah.
at the time. That was so sincere.
He just walked away.
He turned his head real quick. After the game, he came and found me. I couldn't let you know it. That it was funny. Oh, anyway, man, thanks for having me, man. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I watch the PorterWay Podcast every episode.
No, you are a guy.
But
Don't
still,
say you're a huge fan.
okay, if you're out there and you're allegedly a friend of the program and you don't subscribe, like, and do all the things necessary to help the program grow, that's what support's supposed to be, right?
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Let's do this real quick. Because we've seen, especially Mike Tyson, he said that he's been quoted for saying he had fear. He was scared every time he went into the ring. And you said fear make you run fast. Was there a presence of fear, for the sake of words, when you played?
My emotion was about failing. It wasn't about afraid to compete or, the physicality of the sport. It's about failing, because I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me in this opportunity. So it's very important to me that I put my best foot forward. And I think that really makes you lock into the process.
Yeah.
And when you show up to an event and you at the best possible representation of yourself, you're comfortable with the result.
Yeah.
Like it just is what it is. The only time, to me, failure really eats you up is when you know you weren't prepared.
Yeah. Did you box growing up?
No.
Okay.
But we did settle our issues in Winky's gym. So y'all St. Pete Boxing Club, shout out to my goddamn Birmingham, Winky Wright,
He said,
Jeff
"We
Lacey,
settled our
Antonio
issues."
Tarv, all those guys
Yeah.
down there, Keith Thurman.
What's your street record?
So
Because I know mine.
I've never officially lost a fight.
Ah.
But also, think about this, though. I've been really good at football for a long time.
Okay.
So, in the neighborhoods across America, especially the South, if you're one of those guys that's, like, really good in a particular sport.
Yeah, they started. Yeah.
Right. Like, you probably get more passes than Buddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure I probably dodged some bullets. And then the bullets I had to catch, I had my partners with me, so.
Gang member.
Did you? I heard that.
Well,
I
that's
heard
a
that.
lie. Lies. Ain't no gangs in the South.
Did you? Did you have a train boxing like? When
So I've taken boxing training before, just as a cardio deal.
Yeah.
I when I got to Tulane, I was 219 pounds. When I got to NFL, I was 226 pounds. So back then that's heavyweight. It's heavyweight now, but I mean back then that I would have been afraid.
Yeah,
if they'd have put me in the ring with Tyson or Riddick Bowe, one of them, I'd have probably.
But no boxing workouts like to kind of
I've never
sharpen up your football.
like a professional. No.
No, I meant like anything boxing related to sharpen up anything for football.
The one thing that I wish I had gotten into a little more was you guys' discipline from a diet standpoint. But again, I was a little bit ahead of that transition in other sports.
Yeah.
I remember people used to laugh at Drew Brees and Tom Brady because they were doing yoga and all the complementary and ancillary things that you do because we just grew up on creatine and water. Like that's all we had. Like we weren't hyperbaric chamber. We were before that.
Yeah.
So that if you look back, that's one thing about the discipline that you guys have that I think is really admirable.
Yeah. I went to the gym the other day with this kid, and he was a lot of people that have seen the story about me playing football in high school. Some people get it twisted, and they think that I played football, and then after football, I started boxing. People don't realize. I just had somebody just text me, you started boxing at 4 or 5 years old. I never knew that. Yeah, my whole life I've been boxing and playing football. But what we did was we took some of the things that I would do as a running back and as a football player, and we applied them to boxing. And it wasn't just go right at a guy. I would hear people say, oh, yeah, he bulldozed people. There was a method to the madness, and within that method was football juke moves and stuff like that, and the feints and stuff like that. I was at the gym with this kid the other day, and he asked me, like, show me how to get at people the way you see it. I said, I don't think I can do that no more. I don't have that anymore.
That's
because
20s.
Yeah, because working the feet from football, the ladder drills and stuff like that, that's how I got such good feet in boxing.
When you box, you can tell you're an athlete.
Yeah.
That you can do multiple sports.
Yeah.
Some boxers, you just know they're elite at that, but if you put them on a basketball court, the ball might beat them up. If you throw them a football, they might lose an eye.
Yeah.
Like you could tell, in your movements, that he's
Yeah.
done other sports.
Yeah. One more question, then we'll get going with the show, and then we're going to get to the super chats. Every 15 minutes-ish?
Yeah, that works.
About every 15 minutes, we're going to try to just super chat it out for y'all and answer questions, and then we're going to do that for 5 minutes?
However long you need to take, yeah, and then we'll move on.
2 rounds of boxing, and then we back to the show. But we're really gonna cut in so that we can get those super chats out the way, or get those super chats going. But why boxing? Like how are you become so interested in boxing? And you in the freaking NFL?
I went to high school with Jeff Lacey.
Yeah.
Remember Left Hook?
Yeah, that blew my mind when you told me.
Right. So me and him really good friends.
Yeah.
Winky Wright, not from St. Petersburg, but grew up the majority of his life in St. Petersburg. Antonio Tarver was right there in the circle. So I'm around these guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically my childhood was like Mike Tyson, like you're looking at this, but it's from a distance.
Yeah.
So then when you get to touch it and feel it,
yeah,
and you see the commitment, the dedication that goes into it, because like it was a time I just was like, okay, he show up and fight. Mm-hmm. Like you knew what's a training camp, it's a lot that goes into it. Oh, you can't have no sex. I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. So seeing those guys go through it, it really made me like buy into it. And then Derrick Brooks, Hall of Famer on our team, very good friends with Roy Jones. So Roy Jones used to always be around as well. So growing up under that, I mean, how could you not? Like I was at all of Winky's fights, both Mosley's, Trinidad. We was at Tarver Roy, the second one. First one was during football. We had a game. It was at all Lacey events. Like so. I mean, it was there. So shout out to my boy Keith Thurman too.
You've been to the fights before, right?
You've
been to big fights?
Yes, absolutely.
What's better, big fights or Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Ooh, he wasn't slow with that either.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you.
Because you're guaranteed to get the best of both competitors in the Super Bowl. Sometimes in big fights, during the course of a fight, like, you can go from trying to win to making sure that this ends in a certain way. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, you don't always get, like, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, they're trying.
Let's do these super chats right quick. Eli Bryant,
that's our guy. Hey, we'll be in New York tomorrow night.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to hit you up.
I will not. But thank you for the super chat. Great fight. I have Spence stopping Crawford in the 11th round. We're going to talk about that.
We're
going to talk about that.
So, heads up, guys. Y'all want to send in your super chats? This is a Shaun Porter interview for Spence Crawford.
Ooh.
So, whatever questions you got for Shaun, let us know.
Did I tell you that?
Yes. I heard it on the show.
Oh,
you didn't tell me. I heard it on the show.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because you were talking about how you didn't want to do a whole lot of outside interviews.
Yeah.
Because people need to come to the PorterWay Podcast.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely, I want to touch on that when we get to it. But top to bottom real quick, I want to recap Claressa Shields.
Man.
And, I mean, she's like just a machine at this point. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm never really looking to see who's going to beat that person? Who's going to beat, after Tank beat Ryan, it's like, all right, well, who's going to beat him? Yeah. Damn, let the boy live in this moment.
Right. Enjoy this moment.
How are you trying to find who's going to beat Tank right after the fight?
Right.
You know what I mean? Of course, I want to see who's going to be competitive against Tank. I want to see who's going to be competitive against Claressa, but there's no one. What do you do? You know what I mean? And she's tried her hand in the MMA now because she feels like I think she knows that I'm superior in this sport. Let me try something.
You know what's interesting? Sometimes, like when you're evaluating athletes, you see one and you just know. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes when you evaluate an athlete, especially boxers, you see one and you just know that's special.
Yeah.
That person, for whatever reason, life is all about, opportunity and fit, doesn't necessarily have a counterpart that can create their legacy.
Yeah.
Because no matter how good you are, you got to have like that one significant victory. And the thing that I worry about Claressa, she didn't really have that yin to her yang.
Yeah.
She's been so dominant.
Yeah.
So my advice to her, look at Layla Ali. Layla never really had like that super dude. It never happened with Ann Wolfe.
Yeah.
But she transitioned, took her success, and still making money. So if I knew Claressa, I'd be like, hey, just keep doing your thing. Don't get outside of what you're great at. And then when you feel like it's time to transition and take that success and go make some more bread.
Yeah.
What I say, the Savannah Marshall fight?
Yeah.
That was a good fight.
Yeah.
And I think she said she wants to win out of Savannah and Shaun Cruz.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All good fights. Just
Yeah.
It's when I say legacy, I mean 2 decades after you stop doing what you're doing. When you walk into the mall, the average person's like, oh, that's such and such.
That's a real legacy,
Right.
Well, I mean,
but you need a yang
yang
to your yin sometimes to create, no matter how good you are, to create like that kind of admiration, from the public.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to salute her, man. I just think that
the GOAT.
She them overhand rights out the opening bell.
I wouldn't get in the ring with her. Like I think she nice like that. She even to beat me up.
I couldn't even funny you say that. I wasn't gonna touch on it, but remember she was saying I was looking at her the other day. I was like, nah, I can get her. I was like, I can get her. But them overhand rights out the gate, and I mean, what can you do? This girl, she knew that this girl had nothing for her. Mm-hmm. We didn't see those kind of overhand rights against Savannah Marshall. No. Much more strategical and conventional against Savannah Marshall.
Work rate was high at the same time.
Say again?
The work rate was high, but it wasn't...
Amazing work rate against Savannah Marshall. You know what I mean? But again, to be at that kind of level where you can determine, okay, this is what I need to beat this girl. This is what I need to beat this young lady, and just put it together like that.
And be elite in all ways.
And she got one at home too. It was cool to see her get one
won
back
every
home in Detroit.
round.
Yeah, I heard at the end it was 100-9. I was like, man.
Damn. I thought she was gonna get it out of here.
I was too.
But hey, the shout to the girl.
If she watches,
Yeah,
I'm a big
Maricela,
Claressa Shields fan.
Maricela,
she took some big shots.
Yeah.
And kept fighting.
Cornejo,
But all respect to her too for getting in the ring with her.
Women's boxing doing good. Alicia Baumgartner, Amanda Serrano. There's some girls that's making some noise, man. Yeah. Absolutely, salute to all y'all.
Katie Taylor losing to Chantel Cameron the other week. What I really liked about that was it seemed like the judges did the right thing, and it's not about, you know what I mean. I just thought that Chantel won. Mm-hmm. And, on a night like that where the young lady's coming home and everything's just kind of like the red carpet's rolled out for her. You never know. And for Chantel to go out there and just do what I've seen her do personally, ringside, and for her to put it down like that, again, it's a testament to women's boxing. And then even from a standpoint of the fairness within women's boxing going according to. Normally, when you got the name, and there's maybe one name in every weight class, maybe one in every other weight class. And for Katie Taylor to be that name at home, and for them to say, hey, you lost tonight, that again is a testament to women's boxing.
For a person like me that's never fought, tell me, because Katie and Amanda fought, but that was the prior fight, right?
Yeah.
Her and Serrano. And Serrano won, I thought, the first half of the fight, and then I thought she ran out of gas. Does that make Katie's subsequent opponents, because she looked vulnerable, now a little less in awe when they get in the ring against her?
Yeah, like we can talk about Teofimo and let's talk about Teofimo and Sandor Martin, a guy who's able to watch Teofimo at his highest and then watch Teofimo at his lowest, and see what I've been able to study this fighter and see everything that this fighter has. And then Sandor's able to go out there and really give Tio a long night. You know, the same thing with Katie Taylor. She's been on a high level for so long that some of these women that have not been able to be on that level and be seen, they're able to prepare for her much better than she is able to prepare for them. You know, that's how that goes.
And Chantel Cameron ain't no walkover.
No, absolutely not.
That's
Absolutely
one
not.
thing.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if she could win that, or if she was going to win, but I had a feeling that she could win that fight based on her work rate and things like that. So again, and it was fun too, listening to the crowd when the other night when Claressa was fighting, to listening to the crowd was cool too. Yeah. They got hyped anytime she was throwing them, you know.
Yeah, it was lit. They won the knockouts. He won the knockouts.
Yeah.
We want to preview this week, or
we got a preview this week. Are you gonna drop the blitz, or are you just gonna go to the fight? No, let's do the fight.
All right.
Let's do the fight.
Josh Taylor.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Teofimo Lopez.
Yes.
Ooh. Both had controversial victories.
Yeah.
Last fight.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I worry. Is Teo head all in the boxing? That's my only thing. The kid got the damn talent.
Yeah.
But I only worry about it where his head's at.
Life is about balance, you know. And you've heard me say that boxing is just like life. You gotta have balance when you're in the ring, all the way down to the way your body's moving. So the balance come all the way around. So then when you have a component outside of the ring, completely different from what's going on in the ring, that completely opponent from what's going on in the ring. And again, that same little kid that I was hanging out with over the last week, he looked at his dad. He said, "Oh yeah, Dad, you said anything can throw a fighter off."
Right.
He said anything. If that fighter don't take that breath the way that fighter's supposed to breathe, that fighter don't get water in the corner, that fighter don't get the right information. If the coach stutters, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like anything can throw a fighter off. You know what I mean? So you're talking about something as real as your real life happening outside of the ring, and then you got to go in the ring. The energy that you're putting into that, when you go in the ring, you don't have that same kind of energy. You know what I mean? It just goes all the way down the line. You know, focus. You know, being able to turn that off and turn this on. You felt like you turned this on, but you still know that that's there. I'm gonna do all this tonight, but I still got to go back to that. You know what I mean? So all that kind of stuff can throw a fighter off.
Do you think we live in a time, you know, us we're a little older, we've been through a lot where we got to go to work. We just like, home got to stay at home. Work got to go to work.
It's interesting because I knew Tio was going to lose, like just from an observation standpoint outside, because...
Which, for the Cambosas or...
This is leading into the Cambosas. I didn't know it was going to be Cambosas, but I could see a huge stumbling block coming. And like it goes to like the father-son relationships in boxing. I feel like a lot of times the yin needs the yang. Like, look at the Haneys. Like, Bill's better at promoting the fight than Devin is. Devin relies on his skills in the ring. So they work great together. Like, you and your dad. Like, you were a multi-sport athlete. Your dad kept you, like, headed in the right direction. Here's our plan in boxing. This is what we got to do.
Yeah.
I felt like, and I don't know them personally, so I don't want to overstep my bounds, but this is me observing from a distance. I have my own kids, sons. I felt like Tio and his dad were going through all of that together for the first time.
Wow. Yeah.
So I didn't think either one could lean on the other one for any kind of like expertise or.
And they were this high.
Right. And so you could see it coming. Yeah. Like both of them braggadocious, like, you know, so you could see it coming. Now for this particular fight, and when Lomachenko moved up, I said he's not a 135-pounder. Yeah. Those guys are too big for him. If he stays at 26 or 30, I think he's an all-time great. Yeah. Tio, is it the out-of-the-ring stuff, or is it his power hadn't come with him to 40? Because at 35, he was devastating. Like, if he hit you at 40, he's hit some guys and they haven't gone anywhere. Is the weight the problem? Yeah. Or is it the out-of-the-ring stuff?
Well, he had the problems with, I think he was at 35 with Cambosas. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, man. I just worry about the kid.
Because Josh Taylor's a big 40-pounder.
Yeah.
You know, Josh's not a little guy.
Thin, tall, long,
He's smarter, right?
and
He's
strong.
smart, both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I realized how
Yeah.
big he was? He was doing like something after one of the fights, and Crawford was next to him. And I was like,
size
damn,
Crawford.
Josh is big.
Yeah.
Like, he's a big boy.
The frame is just a little bit different. You know what I mean? But I think, again, to stay on T.O. first, I do. I think that, and you've said it before. You said they need somebody else in the corner.
Another set of eyes.
Another set of eyes.
No disrespect to the dad, just bring in another set.
Another set. That don't mean get rid of Dad.
Don't.
But I truly do believe when it comes to game planning and having a strategical plan A, plan B, plan C, and being able to mix that up, Dad struggles with that. Mm-hmm. And I think Son struggles with that. And I think collectively, again, the yin and the yang, they collectively,
Right.
y'all are the same person and nobody's the thinker. Y'all the same person, y'all both the talkers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that this is gonna be a really hard fight for T.O. I saw the tweet that he tweeted out, and I didn't really appreciate it. He said this is a kill or be killed sport. Cool, we got all that, but I just felt like if you go and look at the tweet, he was doing his best to intimidate Josh Taylor before this week comes. And I think that intimidation factor that he once upon a time had before he got in the ring with Vasily Lomachenko, or we can say before he got in the ring with
George Lopez.
Kambosos.
Yeah.
I think
George
that
Lopez.
yeah, you should have just kept it going. George Kambosos. I think that George basically wiped away whatever intimidation factor he had. Once you go beyond, I didn't intimidate that guy, I think it becomes exactly what his tweet was. Get me or I'm going to get you. But if he doesn't get Josh in the first 3-4 rounds, I think he's going to start to fall off. I think if Josh is bringing what I think Josh is going to bring, I think Josh is going to bring everything. Speed, power, quickness, this rhythm that's just a little off to T.O. And I think it's gonna be hard for T.O. to adjust to. And if T.O. don't get him with something big and mean and meaningful in the first 3 to 4 rounds, it's gonna be a long night for T.O.
I think T.O. got it in his bag to still pull it out. Can you dip in that
Through
bag?
the fight?
Yeah. You're going to dip in that bag.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to go in that bag against this guy.
Yeah.
This guy ain't nothing to mess with.
He looked great against the guy out here in Vegas.
Yeah. I don't remember, but...
Pedro Campo.
Okay. Yeah, because I kept getting that confused. I'm like, he fought, but he did.
Yeah.
He ran it
Yep.
back.
He
But
looked
when
great
said-
against that guy.
In Vegas, everything, I was worried about the mental. He showed up, looked great performance.
But remember, this guy did not have the punch resistance that a young Josh Taylor, undefeated Josh Taylor will have. And also remember that along the way, even those big shots that he was catching Pedro with, Pedro still wasn't one shot and I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so it's going to take a whole lot against a Josh Taylor in order for Lopez to... Now, this is what I do believe can happen. If Lopez has success in the first 2 to 3 rounds, they'll roll with that. And that momentum will carry them through. But if there's any struggle at all in its first 3 to 4 rounds,
It will show.
I don't think he's going to be able to just out of nowhere pull something out in the middle of the fight. Because, again, we talking about game plan. And you got a game plan against a guy who, again, is tall, long, can come at you and can also move away from you, can counterpunch you and can punch off the front foot, off the back foot. Josh Taylor's bringing a whole lot, you know?
Yeah, I'm going Josh Taylor in this. I just think if he can handle Regis program.
Based on what I just said, you probably,
Yeah,
Yeah,
if he can handle
forgot about
program
that.
at 40,
Yeah.
I just
Damn.
think he can handle T.O. at 40. I
Yeah.
don't know if T.O.'s a elite 40-pounder.
Josh had Jake Catterall in his last fight.
Right, he didn't look great.
He didn't look.
He
I
didn't.
mean, that was an ugly
It was.
night. And a lot of people felt like he lost.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I'm happy. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm happy for you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Not that I was like rooting against Jake Catterall, but you know, knowing Josh and things like that, I was just for the sake of what I was rooting for him. He had his hand raised.
Right.
And when in certain situations, it's like, all right, just keep it moving.
Right.
Don't rematch. Don't look back.
Right.
Don't do too many interviews and explain yourself or nothing like that. But let me explain.
Right.
He's fighting at home. And again, we talking about energy, you know? We talking about people texting and people calling and all these different things that will get you excited. We got the super chats coming in just a second. All these different things are coming at you, and then you just a little off on fight night.
Right.
Because of everything, that energy, everything, you just a little off on fight night. My man skated by with that one. And he got lucky.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. He got lucky. I don't see that performance happening twice.
I don't see him repeating that. He's locked in for T.O. T.O. been talking trash.
He locked in for T.O. He been talking trash. He away from home.
Right.
He back in America, the whole nine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we got a 100%.
I'm going Taylor on this one.
Taylor.
One thing I don't like about Taylor, he dropped his trainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, y'all been rocking
I ain't
out for
crazy
a while.
about that. Yeah,
Oh,
I ain't
you
crazy. I'm never crazy about.
Well, what's the
dropping
difference?
Taylor.
Let me just
His
push
trainer.
back a little bit here. What's the difference between if a fighter feels like his dad has gotten him as high as he can go, and maybe a fighter feels like the trainer he's had has gotten him as far as he can go? Not necessarily, I don't want to be with you anymore, but I've soaked up everything that you can teach me.
You gotta, as a fighter, you gotta know. But what I don't like is when fighters do that after a loss,
A bad performance.
or a bad performance.
Gotcha,
You know, and I think that you know, again, I don't know the whole situation, but whenever I see a fighter change trainers, I'm just like, is it the trainer or is it you? You know what I mean? Is it? And again, sometimes it be I'm not receptive to that trainer anymore. I can't receive the information that trainer's giving me anymore. You know, we butt heads, whatever the case may be. You know, I just thought, you know, again, ugly performance, the performance that didn't really, you know, wasn't you. You know, and it's like, how much of that was the training and how much of that was you, your preparation, and everything that was happening before that fight. You know.
Right, I think we won't get a war.
It's gonna be a war
For how long it lasts?
because T.O.
Ooh, what you got? Late? You ain't gotta give me a round. Go late.
I always get worried when a fighter comes in, blood in his eyes, I'm going to knock this guy, I'm going to stop him. Because when it doesn't happen, I feel like endurance conditioning becomes like a major issue now.
Yeah.
And
I'm not getting it.
Against a
I'm
guy
not
as
getting it.
experienced as
Yeah.
Josh Taylor, that's the bigger guy, that's had bigger fights at the weight, I think that could be dangerous for T.O. if that gas tank get empty early.
Yeah. I mean, let's do this real quick. Look at T.O. against Lomachenko. He caught his rhythm early. Lomachenko started late. We already know. But he was able to carry himself to the end of that fight. At the end of that fight, he really started to wear down. And
He showed up in the
Lomachenko-
championship round.
He did.
showed up in the 12th.
He did. But Lomachenko started to come back and come on.
And let's be honest,
pour it on.
ever since the right hand against Linares that knocked Lomachenko down at 35, he has not been the same aggressive, come forward fighter he was before that.
Yeah.
He's not a natural 35-pounder. He's a little dude.
Yeah. But then you flip it and you look at him getting knocked down in the very first round against George Kambosos. He never catches his rhythm, never catches up and start. I think there were a couple points in that fight where he started to kind of give glimpses of he could still do something. But for the most part, he did not catch his rhythm and he did not get his timing, and it didn't work out for him. I think that's who T.O. is. I think T.O. is the kind of fighter that my intimidation has to bring me through that first round. I got to hit you. I got to hurt you. And if I don't feel nothing in my gloves, I'm in no man's land.
Sandor, did he go down the first two? He went down twice. They only gave him one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're talking about T.O. Yeah. I was like, I don't remember Sandor going down. T.O. went down in the first couple rounds.
Is that the trying to be too aggressive?
Yeah.
Trying to show me, and then it's like, I'm going to show you.
That's what I think. I think it's over aggression.
For no reason.
That's the key right there.
You know the hardest thing to do when you're competing is not let the past impact how you're competing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, especially in boxing, when things have happened previously or there's a narrative or a rhetoric out there in the public, you're trying to prove those things wrong as opposed to just, how do I win this fight?
Yeah.
You know, I used to battle with that all the time in football. Like, don't worry, the offense isn't throwing the football at the percentage that it should be. Hey, man, if we got to run the ball every time this next game, let's win.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Don't allow those outside distractions to impact your game plan on fight night. Just find a way to beat this opponent. Floyd was the best I've ever seen at that.
Yeah.
All the different approaches, you know, different opponents, different styles. He just was committed to, okay, I'm going to win this fight.
So with that, do we want to address our week?
Got to.
What we doing tomorrow? Well,
Got to.
We got a couple hours, and me and Shaun got to give him a flight.
Oh, y'all big time.
Yeah, man.
I ain't big time.
Y'all at the Clearport today, huh?
I'm going in his luggage.
And we will be flying to Philly in the morning. From Philly, we'll be driving out to Jersey.
We can't say what we're doing in Philly yet?
Absolutely. We're doing $1 million worth of game.
Okay.
Gilly and Wallow.
Shout out to Gilly.
Yeah, Gilly and
our
Wallow.
guy.
Gilly is
And Wallow,
is-
my
is
bad. Both of them.
Gilly is a knucklehead, man.
Shout out to the brothers, man. They
Crazy
took an
energy.
idea and turned it and
Man.
monetized it like that. Shout
Yeah.
out to them, man. Much
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Crazy energy from Gilly, and he and I, we definitely got a connection there. And he said, anytime you come into the East, let me know. I got to get you on. He wanted to get me on before this fight got announced, but after this fight got announced, he like, I got to have you on. You know what I mean? So we'll be, it'll be a recorded show, and it'll be out about 2 weeks before the fight, but we'll be doing $1 million worth of game tomorrow.
Congrats.
And then Thursday, we'll be live at the press conference, live on the YouTube channel, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The final press conference is not open to the public, nor is the weigh-in. The weigh-in, I believe, is at, the press conference is at 12 p.m. Live on the PorterWay Podcast, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard on Thursday. And then the weigh-in is at 1 o'clock. That is not open to the public either. So I'm not even going to tell y'all where it's at.
You know I'll be moving around the city. Shaun will not be with me. You want to go to a comedy club?
Possibly. You know I want to go to the comedy club.
I'm not sure we can say this.
No, we can't say it. And we may or may not be at the comedy club. And then of course we have our Friday barbershop pre-fight show. That'll be Friday 5 p.m. Brooklyn's Blends. Been there before.
Yeah, that was so much love.
Yeah, and
Man.
it'll make sense why we going back there. I was gonna go. So I like to go somewhere else, somewhere different. Every time we go to a city.
No, hey, New York, we got our spot. DC, we got our spot too.
DC, was
Vegas,
smooth.
we might have a spot if Vegas don't get together. Shout out to my guys.
But we have Brooklyn Blends, 5 p.m. Live. If you're there, if you're in Brooklyn, definitely come check us out. 235 5th Ave, Brooklyn, New York, 11215. And that is our media blitz this week for Taylor versus Lopez.
Yeah.
And definitely going to be a great boxing match right there.
Now I think after that we take a break. Well, I do. You take you off to
Yeah,
Australia.
I'm everywhere, man. I'm everywhere.
And
So.
then we got some upcoming stuff next month.
You gonna hit that super chat?
Yeah, we gonna get to it.
I see that super chat. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
And then I think we got Kevin Hart weekend. Me and Shaun will be up in there.
Yeah.
Representing the PorterWay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kevin Hart for the love. Then we got SportsCon down in Dallas.
Mid-July.
You ever heard about that? We need to talk to you about getting you a SportsCon, getting you a check.
All right.
Shout out to Andy.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
July 16th. Hey, man,
Andy not just giving out checks.
Hey, man, he got football players. He's a football player. That's July 16th.
He said, we
I
need
think,
to get you a check.
July 16th through the 7th.
I mean,
18th.
you in one bag, I'll be in the other.
Yeah, I ain't little man. It's enough check for everybody.
Oh, wow.
Poor Shaun like Dion. Bring his Louis luggage with him.
All right,
And
listen.
then we got Spence Crawford.
Yeah.
Shaun almost effed this fight up once.
How?
Maybe twice.
How?
Yeah, because you almost beat one of them.
Oh. Here. Let's beat both of them.
Can I just?
Hey, we'll get to that.
Hey, oh my
We'll get
God.
to that. Oh, man.
Can I just say this, please? If you are a lover of the sport of boxing, this is a purely 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
In your evaluation of who you think is going to win, you don't have to bash the opponent.
Thank you.
Like
you.
If you like Crawford, you don't have to bash Spence. If you like Spence, you don't have to bash Crawford. Like, they
Man.
both are great.
It makes sense.
You know, it's like with
Makes
Jordan and LeBron.
Yeah.
If you like Jordan, fine. I do too, but I don't have to criticize LeBron to
Yeah.
like MJ.
I remember when I fought Keith, like nobody bashed either of us. It was just they
Two
was
great
picking.
fighters, yeah.
I remember running into somebody and saying, "Man, you about to fight my other favorite fighter, man." I said, "Yo, just sit down and enjoy."
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you got to do with this one. You just got to become a boxing fan
Yeah.
when Crawford and Spence get in the ring
That's
because
right, and enjoy it.
I like the way somebody said it super, super early before we even came on the show, and I responded to him. I lost his name, but he said, "Man, I'm gonna be a boxing fan when these guys get in the ring because it's 5 to 6 different outcomes."
This is greatness on greatness.
Well, he said it was so many different outcomes. I said 5 to 6 different outcomes. You know what I mean? I think that they're true 5 to 6 different outcomes. Let me do the super chat real quick. Candy Slim 501. Rumor is Shaun didn't train the same for Bud as he did against Errol. Shaun was on his way out versus Bud. Could you please address this hot YouTube topic? I don't think this is a hot YouTube subject. I think that we have talked about that before, and it's a difference of opinion. I went to my dad's house probably in January, and we argued about why didn't you train hard against I did. Dad, I trained hard. No, you didn't. Dad, I said, if you look at the numbers, everything was consistent with that training as it was with everything else. I ran in the mountains. I did the swimming. And the heart rate checked out. The everything checked out. You know what I mean? I think that my dad, there were certain things that my dad expected me to do that I was just like, I've come too far for me to still be doing these certain things the same way and training as if I've never been here before. I said, you know what? For this one, I'm going to make sure that I have all the energy I need going into the ring. If that means not doing as many rounds as you expect me to do, because I know what I'm doing at this point, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, you know? And so my dad really, he just didn't, I didn't explain it to my dad that way in the moment, and my dad didn't understand what was happening in the moment. But essentially, like I said, there were moments where he wanted me to run, and then after the running, go down and swim. And I said, I hollered at Wade. I said, yo, Wade, tell him I don't need to swim at this point. Wade's like, yeah, like the swimming at this point, you should have been done swimming a week ago. But my dad was pushing it so hard because he looked at Crawford like Crawford was the big bad wolf. Right. You know what I mean? And I didn't. You know, I tried to look at Crawford like he was just, you know, somebody else that was going to get it. You know, and I think in some ways, some of the things that happened in the ring and through the course of the fight, some things definitely I felt like in the moment after it was done, I was like, yo, some things did backfire, you know? Yeah,
it's one of those things where he was talking about the dad. At that point, it's probably like your dad.
See, look at that muscle. Look at that. That's, you know, that was work right there. You know, it took work to get that muscle.
Who tied them braids for that fight?
Mind your business.
What you got, prison braids?
Yeah.
Hey, I've never seen your braids like that.
I'm always clean going to the ring. I said, fuck. With this one, I was like, yo, let's go.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
And then, hey.
He's for real.
No, because, I have this. I've been this dude plumber for a while. He had a bad fight one time. He's like, because you didn't fix my shower. Remember, you always about little things.
Yeah.
Little things. He gets the braids gripping.
He ain't get the braids done.
But this is the part of the podcast where me and Shaun go interview you, Shaun.
Yeah.
Porter.
Okay.
Real quick, one more. Debo.
Oh, we got somebody in there?
Looking back at it, it feels like your heart wasn't in it to beat Crawford like you wanted to beat Spence. It's all love, though, champ. I appreciate you, Debo. I think, honestly, man, again, one more thing. To be completely honest and truthful, when we did the very first press conference.
Hey, heads up, you know this is about to go viral.
Yeah. When we did the very first press conference out here in Las Vegas, and we did the face-off, I could read Terence's energy. I mean, it was probably like a month and a half out. And that man was on fight night. And I wasn't. And again, in retrospect, I realized another thing that I realized after the fight was that it wasn't that I didn't take the fight serious, but when I'm able to flip that switch and go to that level, my man was up here. And I never went up there. You know what I mean? So again, you know, when that fight goes the way that it went from beginning to end, and you can see that I was outboxing him and all these different things, I flipped the switch, but I still didn't go to the level that man was at. And I respect that in him, and that's another really, really interesting part of Crawford and Spence. Because when they flipped the switch, first of all, Crawford's switch stay on. And Spence's switch ain't far off.
Yeah.
When he in the boxing ring, and when he at the gym, and when he training. You know what I mean? He flips his switch off when he goes home. I don't know what Crawford do when he go home. I feel like his switch stay on. You know what I mean? But when they flip the switch,
I think the switch is his own.
and the switch is his own.
I tried to be nice. Offered Crawford, hey, come out of the house, man. We having a barbecue. He said, hey, man, don't text me till July 30th. You on the other side? Stay over there.
Damn.
We cool. But, hey.
Damn.
And that's Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
And I still got Spence.
Yeah.
But
This is going to be an all-time great fight.
what question do you got for Shaun? If you're not ready, I'm ready.
You go ahead.
Which fight, shout out to Dane Lawrence, this was yours. My guy. Which fight took the most out of you? Some people feel like you wasn't the same after Spence. It was such a war you went through and gave so much that there's always a rumor on the internet, when you fight Spence, you're never the same. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that?
Well, the rumor on the internet is when you fight Shaun Porter, you're never the same.
That's true too.
That was a grueling fight. When that fight was over, and I always talk about this one right here, the fight with Andre Berto. And I always tell people, if y'all fast, you don't even got to watch the fight. Just fast forward to the end of that fight, and you see me stand. I don't go to my corner. I'm standing with my hands on the ropes, and like my head's down, and I lift my head up. I'm exhausted after like 7 or 8 rounds against Andre Berto because of the energy that I put out in that fight, because of how physical that fight was, a lot of like just head collisions. I was exhausted. I wasn't exhausted after I fought Errol. I wasn't exhausted after I fought Keith. I wasn't exhausted after I fought Terence. With Terence, I was like confused / hurt after Terence, after the Terence fight. After the Errol, full of energy, excited. Definitely was a little hurt by the knockdown and things like that, but I was full of energy. I don't think that the fight where Errol took anything away from me, took anything out of me, but definitely, again, talk about outside things taken away from what you can do in the ring, taken away from your true presence in the ring. Against Crawford, there definitely were some outside things that showed up and played its role in that fight, you know? So it wasn't about me not being the same. It wasn't about me, you can't go at Errol the way you go at Terence. Yeah. You can't go at Terence the way you go at Errol. People like, yo, if you had fought Terence the way you fought Errol, you would have got him out there. Can't go at him on that.
Right.
The rhythm is different. Right. You know, the cadence is just a little different. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that after Terence, you know what I mean? I feel healthy. You know, I don't feel like Terence took anything away from me either, you know?
Salute to you, champ. Sit here with all your faculties.
Yeah,
I mean, transition to what's next. You're doing great at it. Here's where I don't feel like you get enough credit. You look at your resume at 47. Berto, Broner, Thurman, Spence, Crawford, Garcia. Like, you fought everybody during a period where guys weren't active.
Yeah.
Was that a conscious decision
100%.
that you and Kenny made?
Yeah.
That we going to be active when everybody else is only fighting once a year? And how did you get all those fights made? Because as a fan, all we hear is, that's just boxing. That's why we don't get this fight. How are you able to get all those fights made during that period?
The first thing is, when we signed with Mr. Heyman, A.H., he looked at myself and my dad and he said, as long as he's healthy, he'll fight. Whenever you want him in the ring, he'll get in the ring. And so when we signed with A.H., I think every single fight except for one, I was in the ring, did what I was supposed to do. And the other side of that is, in a time where other fighters were, I don't know if it was you getting paid enough where you don't got to fight or you just want to relax, or I don't know what the case was. Our routine was fight, take a week vacation, come back, get back into pre-camp. And that's just, you know, kind of for the sake of words, going through the motions, getting yourself back to get ready for another fight. And the other side of all of that was everybody was on my side. And that was the blessing that God presented me with, because I didn't have to look left and right. Terence been looking left and right forever and been waiting on the big fights and been wanting the big, and all that. with PBC, I didn't have to wonder who I could get. And my dad did his damnedest to make sure I got the best that I could get, you know? So, I mean, just collectively, man, it was a blessing. And, one more thing I like to say is that I was just racing to the finish line, you know? Working on my documentary. So, when y'all see, that'll make sense.
Well, I brought it up because I know a lot of current fighters watch the PorterWay Podcast.
Yeah.
I learned this as I was trying to build a brand. Out of sight, out of mind. No matter what kind of momentum you got going, no matter what kind of motion you got going, if you aren't visible and in front of the public, and shout out to my dude Keith, I'm praying for you, dog, that you get another shot.
Yeah, man.
But I respect the fact that you competed consistently.
Yeah.
Because as a fan, we don't care if you win or lose as long as you compete.
Yeah.
We're gonna support you because we respect that level of commitment to being vulnerable, because when you compete, you can lose and win.
I think most fighters have to kind of establish who they are, you know, before you take that loss. You know what I mean? You gotta really do something that's gonna catch everyone's eye and make them want more of you. You know what I mean? Because when I got to a point where I had the loss against Kel, and then we came back like a thunderstorm, and then like I think 2 fights or 3 fights later we get the loss against Keith, but it was a prime time performance on prime time CBS, you know.
So your stock,
exactly, right. You know what I mean. So, and I think the other side of that is we're starting to see a lot of fighters call other fighters out. I think fighters are starting to realize, man, if I'm willing to take these shots, they're gonna put me in the ring, you know.
I think you were the perfect boxer to be around after the Mayweather effect. The Mayweather effect.
And shout out to Floyd. So, because I think one of the things that Floyd don't get enough credit for is he showed the future fighters that understand the business.
Get the money.
It's more money out here than what you're being made aware of. So I give him respect for that.
Yeah.
I mean, the next generation got to pick and choose if they're trying to be undefeated or they're trying to chase greatness.
Yeah.
Floyd's my favorite fighter ever. Floyd was a curse and a blessing to this game, I feel like. Because, you know, the casuals want to see him knock somebody out. We knew he wasn't going to knock. We knew he wasn't going to knock nobody out. We knew he was about to go in and put in work. But it was just like, it felt like he was picking people, this and that. But then you got Shaun Porter, the Errol Spence, the Keith Thurman generation. They were battling out. It was battling out. Losses didn't matter. We kept running it back. I felt like that helping the sport of boxing go back up.
Yeah.
Because this year we gained a lot of.
Man, this might be the best year in boxing history. The way 23 going, I am not gonna lie, as a fan.
I'm done.
Hey, I'm Gucci.
I'm done.
Especially if we get the heavyweight match later in the year. I'm hearing. Man,
that's gonna be crazy.
I'm done. You want to get super chat?
Right, super chat real quick. Alan Maddox, he said, "Salute Shaun, who honestly hits harder, Bud or Errol?" This is not a cop out. Like honestly, like. The adrenaline is high, man. You're just so focused on things. When you get hit, a lot of times you recognize that you got hit. You recognize what you got hit with. But the effect or whatever, I know y'all hear it on TV and y'all hear it instant. Like, you don't feel it. You know what I mean? As a football player, did you?
I never got hit in a game and was like, damn, he hit me hard.
Yeah.
Because I just was so in tune to pop back up. Show no weakness. Like now after the game, I might be driving home, be like, "Damn, my shoulder hurt."
Yeah. But, so what I like to say about Errol's power and his punch again, opposed to Terence and his punch. Terence's punch is like a whip. You know what I mean? It's like it's a sting. You know what I mean? Errol's punch is more like a thump. Like it's like, right. You know. And so,
which one made you say
Neither.
I think you said somebody else did.
Who, me? Not me. Nah, I not me. Nah, I ain't no grunter. You know, I ain't in the ring.
Should I snitch y'all? Where my camera at? He did tell somebody, he said, look.
Who? Go
I
ahead,
think it was Errol Spence, too. I think it was Errol Spence. Hey, not Errol Spence. All right.
Ask Errol if he heard something while he was boxing. Ask him because you hear it. I remember.
And it's like, oh, you fool.
Oh, no. When you, yeah. You hear somebody groan or something? Yeah. That's go get him time. Yeah.
It's interesting because to me, Errol
for those who my fault, but for those who used to get whippings,
Right.
Oh God.
A switch.
it's the difference between like a belt. You ever been hit with a paddle?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Go buy a paddle and go and hit yourself with a paddle. that's Spence, and then hit yourself with the belt.
Belt is a difference.
They both hurt. Bottom line is they both hurt.
I do feel like Errol stops guys more of just out of sheer mental breakdown. Like, I'm tired of he's in my face. I can't get away from him. Like, I can't go through this no more. Whereas Crawford, who stopped everybody at 47. It's surprising they just don't get talked about more.
Yeah.
Nobody at 47 has gotten to the final bell against T. Crawford.
That's crazy.
He can look like early in a fight, vulnerable, and then his in-ring IQ, his ability to adjust, set one perfect shot up.
Different.
And I mean, it's lights out.
Yeah.
I mean, when he hit guys.
Yeah.
Defensively wise, who's Earl's more via block. Terence will get the hell out of there. Defensive wise, who's better defensively?
I think Errol is.
Earl is?
I think Errol is a better defensive fighter. I think that Errol he seems to always be alert. Excuse me. He seems to always be alert to what's coming at him, you know. He does a really good job of rolling off punches too. If you watch my fight with Errol, you see a lot of the punches that I landed, they don't really have the big effect because he's rolling with them. They're fast enough to get there, but he's fast enough to be aware that they're coming.
Right.
And so it's like he's rolling off the punches as they're coming, you know. And I think that speaks to the IQ that he has to be as offensive as he is, but also as defensive aware as defensive aware at the same time. To me, that's what makes him special.
Is that because, and shout out to Errol Spence, I'm a big fan too, by the way. He has a style that's very aggressive, come forward.
Yeah.
So you would think when you're that aggressive, counter-punching is always a threat. And he's mastered when he's throwing certain punches exactly where I got to have my head, what can potentially come back. Whereas Terence got 65 styles. He like the drunken kung fu master from the movie. So because he's always in and out, maybe sometimes he gets hit and then he adjusts to the style that fits his
Terence's anticipation is really good. He's got really good reflexes. But just off of, like, if you were to throw 5 punches at Errol knows what he's going to do. And what he's going to do every time is all this right here. And all this right here. He has his go-to defense. That's his defense. He doesn't get hit flush with a lot of shots. And again, he's able to roll and to leave a lot of the stuff that's coming at him, you know. Terence, sometimes he'll bounce out, but it takes him out of the play, takes you out of the play, you know. Sometimes he'll step around. Sometimes he'll stay there and try to wear it. I would not advise him to wear anything from Errol because Errol's the kind of fighter that as long as I'm touching you, I'm going to keep coming. That's good enough. Right. Yeah.
That's good enough for him.
I'm going to keep coming, you know. Right. Errol's the kind of fighter that try to get another one. I don't have another one right off the top of my head, but damn, I don't. Errol's about consistency. You know what I mean? Errol's the kind of fighter that, as long as I can, even if I didn't hit you, if this hand touched your glove, that's good enough for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That consistency that it's gonna be there eventually. You know what I mean? That's what Errol is really good at.
Both have got elite mental toughness and dog in them, but we've seen both of them buzzed.
Yeah.
Who has the best punch resistance, and will this be the fight? If there's one thing that I can't wrap my mind around, Errol post crash seems to be just slightly less resistant at times to certain. Like, he looked invincible, Kell Brook Errol. Like, he looked like
100%.
I mean, he looked invincible. We've seen him subsequently, Ugas, Garcia, after the
Kell
tragedies.
Brook had him on the ropes for a minute.
But
6 rounds, he was giving him hell.
So,
Kell Brook was giving him hell.
But he was consistent.
Yeah.
And he knew what he was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he had his mission, and he was on his mission. You know. Because he's asking about punch resistance. I don't know.
Who asked about that?
He did.
I did. Because neither guy's been knocked down before.
Neither guy's been.
Well, Gamboa.
Truly.
They both been hit.
Right.
They both been hit. Took some big shots.
Yeah.
You know, somebody was asking me like.
Terence went down against
Gamboa,
the green,
right?
the machine.
Yeah,
what's his name?
They didn't count it.
Machine.
I thought they counted against
Mean
Gamboa.
Machine.
Green machine. But I was trying to break it down. They're like, Errol's feet is terrible. I said, his feet's not terrible. Errol reminds me of Tim Duncan. This is Tim Duncan versus
big
LeBron.
Fundamental.
He does everything right.
Damn.
LeBron, Terence Crawford. I'm flashy. I can do it all.
Right.
Tim Duncan got 5. LeBron got 4.
Yeah.
That's why it's a great
a hell of a fight.
God, it's a great
It's like
fight.
Duncan. Oh my God. Give me some love on that. Duncan versus LeBron.
Yeah.
And get two that's in the same era though.
Duncan versus Elijah Wan.
Duncan and LeBron played against each other. What y'all talking about?
But they not really
they
in the
swept.
same era though.
They
LeBron got it 1 year.
They swept.
LeBron
They
was
swept.
what?
They swept.
He had what? He got-
all in 3.
How many years he got on LeBron? That's what I'm saying.
All
though.
right, man. What else? That was the closest big fundamental I can get. I mean, Jokic. I mean, there's no fundamental.
Jokic.
There's no fundamental like this dude.
Yeah.
But I would describe it as like Crawford is in a pocket, a quarterback that can run. Shaun King, Michael Vick.
Whoa, don't disrespect Vic like that. Vic like 4'3", I'm like 4'5".
No, I'm just saying y'all had great feet in the pocket.
Yeah, well, people watching this. People gonna see.
All right, Mike Vick. All right, but
I was gonna go with TB, Tom Brady.
So,
Yeah.
on Earl, yeah,
on Earl, yep.
They don't look great, but they both got pocket presence and they got great feet.
Yep.
Earl's feet didn't look, and definitely with you, it looked like it was definitely slow.
Yeah.
But he has great feet.
Yeah.
He just does. It's just so fundamentally. Terence Crawford, he makes it look great, and he's great at what he does.
Yeah.
Who has the greatest feet, Shaun? Who got the best feet? This is tough.
All of it's tough.
Hey, that's why we actually
All of it's tough.
You don't want to be in the ring
That's why
with
it's a
him?
great
They
fight.
both consistent.
Yeah.
You can't consistency is the key to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm
And
fascinated to
even
see?
though, yeah, go ahead.
I'm fascinated to see what the round prop is. For instance, Tank Ryan Garcia, round prop was 7.5.
Oh,
Haney Lomachenko was 11.5. I'm anxious to see what the round prop is. Because I know they both have been hurt before, and I know the other one, when they get a guy hurt, like they stop him.
Yeah.
Real quick, and I'll get back to your question, but Ohio runs boxing. Shout out, big dog. Probably see you in New York. Carlos Navarro Reyes, he says, how come your dad loves Spence so much? Both of them. Like, my dad did camps with Crawford.
I feel like he talked more highly about Terence than he do Spence.
He did camps with Spence.
Yeah.
My dad did a camp with Spence, and they went to like Russia and one other country. And my dad's calling me from Russia, like, this kid's the next. He's the next.
Right.
Yeah, he's the one. If anybody's gonna bring back a medal for Olympic Games, it's gonna be Spence, obviously. But that didn't happen. But my dad has always been high on Spence, and my dad can't recognize real. Derek James, do you think Keith Thurman thought he could hold out until Errol's reign was over?
And, hey, this better not be goddamn Derek
freezing
James.
himself out. I don't know what the heck. I don't know what
Shout out to
Keith.
Keith, man.
Hey,
That's
man,
always
Keith, my guy, man. I want him to get that fight. But listen, I don't know what happened between him and Errol, but one thing I did know, Errol was never gonna get Keith.
Damn.
That Keith's way back into the spotlight was not gonna come against Errol. Errol had made that decision.
You're not getting no juice off of me.
You wouldn't fight me, I'll never fight you.
Yeah. But back to
Hey, Keith, I got you and Ugas. That's the perfect fight.
Call him.
He ain't got his number.
I got his number, but it's late. It's 10:22.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Keith go sleep early.
But shoot, now I forgot your question.
Who has better?
The
feet?
better feet. It depends on what. In this fight, if Terence we don't know exactly what Terence is gonna do. We got a really good idea of what Errol's gonna do. I think Errol's hands up. I'm coming after you.
Right.
Big fundamental.
I'm hunting you down.
Yeah.
Which means Errol's more than likely gonna be like this: the stalk,
I got you. Oh, no, I told it to your face.
the stalk, and then the turn. Turn. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what I did against Errol was a lot of pivoting and a lot of stepping around and a lot of back and forth, and those were the things that kept this man like this and turning and like this with a lot of punches, a lot of this. You know what I mean? You talk about how do you beat Errol? Like, don't let him use his offense. You know what I mean?
Right.
And don't let him stalk you and walk you down. You know what I mean? And I think that it's gonna be important for Terence to turn and use his feet. But the thing I know about Terence is, if everybody say turn, man, use your feet and move on him and boxing, he gonna come in the ring ready to bang.
Does the fact that
what I
they
mean?
have this rematch clause that looks ironclad, based on what I've heard, that they're gonna run this back?
Well, who is ironclad?
Well, one of them can always opt out. But it looks like we're gonna get Spence Crawford 2 after this. Does that have a bearing, you think, on how both of them approach what style of fight they're gonna make the first one?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Winner takes all, right?
If I beat you down, which is what both of these fighters want to do, then why do we need to see a rematch? That's the mindset. You know what I mean? The mindset is not to hold anything back. I think a little bit different if you in a 5-game series. You know what I mean? And these are you got 3 guaranteed games. You know, we might try to hold something back, but this boxing, baby.
So I was talking from the opposite end. Like, we're going to get balls to the wall, hair on
100.
fire, YOLO, because
100.
I want to see, really, can I match your energy right here and beat
100.
you?
Yep.
And then if I got a rematch and I got a box the next time, I could do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking like Hagler, Hearns, like, but not that short.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Who initiates it? Who gets it going?
Errol.
Yeah.
Earl? Okay.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I know. And Shaun, this is it. This is the one we've been waiting on. Y'all
Both
almost ruined
of
it.
them.
Y'all almost ruined it.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I ain't been excited about a fight like this in a long time.
Yeah, you've been asking me. You've been texting us. You've been texting
because
us
I
like
think
a
this
year.
is purely a 50-50 fight. I've been
Yeah.
waiting on this kind of fight.
Tanner Boy, he said, Bud doesn't have footwork like you did, so do you think Bud can keep him off and box him the whole fight? Again, it's really not about boxing him the whole fight, because moving on Errol plays into what he does. He wants to stalk you. Mm-hmm. He wants you to move.
Cut the ring off.
Yeah. He keeps his hands at home, but he don't want to have to keep them at home forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? He wants to be able to release and let go. So you can't just move on Errol and hope that he gets out of position and hope that he leaves a hand down. He don't leave a hand down. Hopes that he doesn't bring a hand back to his face after he throws the punch. He brings the hands back after he punches. The only way, you know what I mean, or one of the only ways, is by mixing it up and doing a whole lot of different things.
This is an SO fight. After this, everybody gonna give him a standing ovation.
You better.
I truly believe that's the kind of fight it's gonna be. I'm happy for boxing that we got it.
Yeah.
You know, before one of them had slipped up and took a loss to somebody else.
Yeah.
This is big time. Maybe this is the blueprint, because it seems like the lighter weight classes are giving us exactly what we want to.
Mm-hmm.
Shaun Porter, no prediction. How do you see this fight going? Don't give the end prediction.
Yeah.
Terence established. Earl's established. Da. I'm not gonna put you on the spot next for the position.
No, you good.
You gotta work that fight.
Yeah. No, you good. I mean, just like the gentleman said earlier, so many different outcomes. Mm-hmm. And what I said to reply was, there's 5 to 6 different outcomes at the least. Mm-hmm. And there's a 90 percentile for all of them. Yeah. Meaning all of those, any one of those could actually happen.
Right. It would not be a surprise.
It won't be a surprise.
Happens. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I broke it down to Tim Duncan versus LeBron.
Yeah.
You know how great LeBron is. You know how great Tim is. Tim gonna do his. LeBron gonna do his.
Yeah.
Who gonna get the advantage that night?
This is what I said, man, and I'm glad we're doing this, and I'll address this before we end the show. But somebody said, Dame Lillard text and said, who you got?
Out the blue.
Out the blue, text and said, who you got?
You said who this?
No. I said it's consistency versus consistency.
Right.
You got 98% against 98%. They both shoot 98% from the free throw.
Right. My boy texted.
What do you do? You got Stephen Curry shooting at the free throw against the other one over there, Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Who?
My boy texted me that. You know what I texted him back? Boxing.
Exactly.
He asked me who you got. I say boxing.
Exactly.
Say this is what it's all about.
It's not a cop out to realize that both of these guys, the way they train, the way that they prepare, I definitely think that I truly do think that Errol has the better corner.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that too.
I do. I think that Errol has the better corner. I think that Derrick James he's proven himself to be a really good thinker, a really good problem solver, and a really good strategist as well.
He got shit for you when you come to the corner.
He got shit for you when you come to the corner. You know what I mean? And he got different shit every time you come to the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I like about Derrick James when I hear him in the corner, and I've seen him work firsthand, he doesn't cheerlead, but he doesn't withhold stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he'll tell you, like, yo, that was a good round. But, you know, hey, keep doing this, keep doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We was sitting down watching we was watching Terence Crawford against the Mean Machine.
Okay.
And Terence goes back to the corner, and Coach didn't have much for him. I'm looking at, remember? Yeah. I was like, yo, what's happening? He wasn't getting much, you know what I mean? Maybe since the Mean Machine, they've been able to really, you know, establish, you know. But to me, I think that the better corner is Errol Spence.
Yeah. So I think like Manny Stewart, in my opinion, is the best trainer ever. Then I think I got Nazim behind him.
Yeah, Nazim.
The two guys that I think right now are at the top are Derrick James and Breadman. Like as far as like during the course of a fight, the right temperament, the right instruction, understanding the room. You know, I think to me those two, Breadman and James. And shout out to Derrick.
Barry Hunter's an underrated coach, man.
Just don't get to see him as much.
Yeah, you don't get to see him
you know
much.
What I mean?
Yeah.
You know, people might take shots at me about this. Who could have been even better trainer and got more credit if he had more fighters? And don't get me wrong, if they could deal with his shit, Kenny Porter. Kenny Porter is tough to deal with.
But it's hard to have fighters when your son fight 12 times a year. He fighting every month.
If Kenny could have got some names, he could have gave some divisions.
He got some young boys now, right?
Yeah, some now. Yeah. But when Shaun was
Shout out to Kenny Porter. Great job, big dog.
Yeah, hell of a career you had.
My dad's like, what's the coach for Indiana?
Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight. My dad's like Bobby Knight.
Perfect example.
Yeah, my dad's like Bobby Knight.
You know what Bobby Knight don't get no credit for? Bobby Knight called Michael Jordan before anybody else.
Ooh.
When on that Olympic team where he cut Charles Barkley, after that Olympic Games, he said he's the best basketball player on the face of the planet.
Wow.
This was before he even got drafted by the Bulls.
Wow.
Damn.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Bryce Phillips, super chat, said it's Duncan versus Garnett to him.
There you go. I like that. I like that.
All right.
Anything is possible.
Tip Bayless, you got Tip Bayless? Or
Go ahead.
Thurman versus Spence needs to happen now. It still got life. Hasn't
never happening.
We don't mean to laugh at you, but
hasn't reached a Khan versus Brook point. Damn, 8 years. They've been attached to each other.
It's never happening.
Yeah.
Errol despises Keith.
It's crazy.
Tanner Boy said, who has the better motor? If it is slugfest like you and Errol, who has the better condition? It looks like Errol. But then it looks like Terence.
Yeah, it's
you
tough.
know? Errol has, but this is the difference. And this is why we can say Errol. Errol has the same pace from the first round to the 12th round.
He does.
He got the same pace.
The thing about, Terence is so damn good. We never seen him max out his engine.
That too.
Versus you, I seen Errol max out his engine and maintain it. I got to give my man props.
Yeah.
And the Terence is so damn good that we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So it's just, you got the other one?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You want me to go?
I got you. No, you did the Tip Bayless one. Go ahead. It's me.
Band up.
Hello.
If one thing you needed to beat both, what would it be?
The one thing you needed to beat both of those guys. I don't like the way that sounds. I'm good, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of loud in here.
It's just echo. He good. That's hard to say.
This is what I thought I needed to beat Errol.
I respect that the way you started that. Because I was gonna get on your ass. All right, we're going. Yeah, I was. Go ahead.
I thought I needed everything to beat Errol. I analyzed him for myself, and I knew that years before we fought, I said it's gonna take everything to beat him. I boxed. I used speed. I used foot movement. I lured him on the rope. I was on the ropes and spent off the ropes. Those are strategies that we use to back somebody up and put them on the ropes. You know, kind of quick way to change the tide. And then I thought that I needed everything. And in the fight, I was like, somebody got to get knocked down. I was like, I got to get him. I said, somebody got to get knocked down in order for there to be a winner.
Right.
I felt like it was going to a draw. And he gets the knockdown. Mm-hmm. If there's one thing you need to beat Errol, you got to hurt him. You got to put him down. And what's the thing? What you got to do to beat Terence?
Shit, I don't know. I told you I ain't had nothing. What you got?
I think you got to get to Terence early if you're gonna beat him. I feel like if you let him on fight night figure out exactly what you're doing, I feel like your chance of success will diminish greatly. To me, with Spence, I think you got to hurt him.
Yeah.
And put him in a space he's never been in.
Yeah.
Like, I think knocking Spence down would be huge.
Yeah.
Because I think Spence fights with a lot of pride as well as skill and IQ. But I think it's a lot of, like, testosterone inside of him. Like, I'm not just trying to beat you.
Yeah.
Like, I won't make you quit, basically.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes you can use that against a really uber-aggressive athlete.
This is the greatest boxing match to be made in boxing in the last probably ever.
I agree.
Because both fighters, you really have to kill me. You're not just fighting against skill and talent and conditioning, and you fighting against pride.
Yeah. Because both of them, when they've gotten hurt,
you fight against two dudes that want to. At the end of the fight, I want everybody to know that I whooped your ass.
I kicked your butt. Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's hard for me to see who gonna win because it's like a teeter-totter. Boom, I got that round. I got that round.
Yeah.
Ooh, who the fuck got that round?
Yeah.
Who got that round?
Yeah.
We can get 3 of those, but we don't know who got it.
Yeah.
But with Terence, I felt like I felt like with Terence, I was outboxing him until what happened ended up happening.
Right.
And the one regret that I have against Terence was that I didn't mix it up. That I didn't do more than one thing. Because I knew I had to do more. Knew I had to do everything against Errol. And I think mentally I knew I had to do everything against Terence. I think I didn't know exactly when those points were going to show up. And then he never really gave me a tell. He never really showed me that I needed to change it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I stuck with what I had until it started to backfire. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the same thing you got to do against Errol is the same thing you got to do against Terence. You have to hurt Terence. If you don't hurt Terence and you don't put him down and hope that the referee wave it off, he's getting up.
I think they're both crazy enough. If you hurt them, they coming.
Well, in his career, when Terence has gotten buzzed, he full attack mode. Whatever play in their head, it's out the window.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get you.
Yeah, I'm
kill
gonna
or be
hurt you
killed.
back, right? Yeah.
Terence, kill or be killed.
Yeah.
And I think Earl got that in him too.
Ohio's runs boxing. He said Errol will pressure Terence Crawford, but once he feels his punching power. Once he feels his punching power in both hands, he will start boxing like he did Mikey and being smart. It's a great way to look at it. Ohio runs boxing.
2 more.
I think the same thing. I think that I could see that too. I could see this being a situation where Errol is trying to come after him, and then he says, you know what? Let me outbox you. You know what I mean? Let me try to box with you. You know, instead of trying to run into the fire. You know, or walking into the fire. You know.
If you watch the Kell Brook Crawford fight, Kell landed a lot of jabs, and it started to affect Crawford's eye after only 3 or 4 rounds.
It did. That was interesting. That's the first time I'd seen.
And Earl jabs is a little more powerful than that.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like Crawford energy will be different for Errol than it was for Brook at that point in his career. Amir Khan, you know. I've been around the Joker. The Joker thought he could throw a football for me.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
you know, I was hanging out that day.
Right.
Changes a lot of my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
He's a psycho.
And-
He's a competitive psycho.
And even with me, I never let him feel the fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's cool to outbox somebody. It's cool to win rounds. Exactly. It's cool.
Yeah.
But when that fire comes, I never let him feel the fire.
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean? I never gave him a reason to get outside of himself. And that was something I've always prided myself on, was making people uncomfortable. I never made Terence uncomfortable. You gotta make Terence uncomfortable.
Got another one. 2 more.
Sleeper, appreciate you, big dog. Yeah, man. He said he loves the chemistry, and man, I love hanging out with you guys. And we doing the best we can, and we gonna keep riding it up, man. Keep taking it up. Go ahead. What's the other one? And I know we gotta get up out of here. I know.
Yeah, we gotta go.
That time.
Ohio runs boxing. Crawford punching power in both. Did we all
All right, yeah, I did that one. That one. Appreciate you, Ohio runs boxing. I appreciate you, Mr. King.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
Big fan of the PorterWay Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Y'all do a great job, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me the way y'all appreciate me hanging out with y'all, and with 2 T's here. We'll be in New York, and we'll see y'all on the Media Blitz live on the PorterWay Podcast.
I got you.
You got some motivation you want to talk about?
I do.
We got one more. Hey, super chat. This is the last one we getting. All right, so Jay Cooley, Bud Smoking Mirrors. This fight not going the way y'all think. Big fish. Hashtag big fish. Okay.
Hey, listen. Spence Porter didn't go the way y'all thought it was gonna go. No matter who got their hand raised, that fight didn't go the way y'all thought it was gonna go.
Yeah,
Porter Crawford didn't go the way we thought it was gonna go.
Nah, Porter didn't go. Yeah, 7-5.
I just want to keep it going.
Yeah, real quick. I will do this motivation, and then we'll get out of here. Thursday we're live on the PorterWay Podcast, 12 o'clock, and then on Friday we're live on the PorterWay Podcast, 1 o'clock, and then again at 5 o'clock. I'll do this, and then we out of here. I ain't saying nothing else. Saw that JoJo Diaz had tweeted something this week. He's saying that he's been dealing with a lot of different things, and alcohol has been one of the bigger struggles that he's had. And I kind of wanted to pull on something that I've learned being at Remnant Ministries. Shout out to Pastor Randall Cunningham. And shout out to my guy KB, Kenny Brown. Yeah. That's one of my guys in the Lord, and we hang out a lot, and we talk about a lot of different things. Something that I've gotten from church and all that kind of stuff, I want to use it for this right here. What I do believe that JoJo Diaz has done is, what if you're dealing with a lot of issues and you're having problems, the number one thing you have to do is you have to expose that sin, expose that issue. Don't let it fly under the radar. Don't tell nobody about it. You're trying to handle it on your own, it's never going to go anywhere. You have to expose the sin, expose what the issue is. And then after that, you got to get help, you know. I saw this tweet, and it definitely hit home for me, because I've realized, again, we're talking about what I said, a lot of the issues that I had outside of the ring before I got in the ring against Terence, it showed up in the ring. Mm-hmm. Instead of just talking, instead of crushing things and getting them out of the way so that I could be my best self, you got to start getting these issues out and then talking about them and getting them out of the way. Crush the issues before they crush you. And I do believe that that's what JoJo has done. He's opened up on Twitter, and he showed us what's going on in his life. And I definitely will be praying for him and his family. And you guys out there, man, keep praying, keep your head up. And if you're dealing with some things, stop dealing with them by yourself. Expose the issues and then start handling them. Get you some help. This is the PorterWay.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shaun Porter Promotions.